Here we are on the classwork for the 6.19, the video. And I'll take you through, there's just a few things on the first page that I will help you with. And then there is the one question on the back side that gets a little tricky. So for the front page, it's just to find the area of each figure, which is just using those formulas that were in the notes. What I will draw in though is, so like in this triangle, what gets a little tricky in the first one, so we know it's base times height divided by 2. This is technically the height. This is how tall it is, and this is where your right angle would go. So that would be your height, and this would be your base. Okay, remember, we can't count angled lines yet. All right, so you have to use a base that you can actually count. I know some of you are like, well, can it technically go either way? Yes, but we don't know how to count diagonal lines yet. Okay, same thing here on number 3. Remember, you're going to need a height. I usually like to draw it, where the triangle would kind of be. Number 2, that's it's kind of hard to see. This is a half circle. Okay, so this kind of goes back to lesson like 17 and 16. Number 4, we've got a weird shape, so you're going to have to do it in 2 parts. We have this half circle on the top, and then it's a rectangle, perhaps maybe a square on the bottom. So you're going to have to do 2 parts for that one. Number 5, remember again, we're going to have a height here. And this one is not like number 3. So remember, this is technically a quadrilateral, so a little bit different than what number 3 was. Quadrilateral. Okay. And then number 6 here, you're going to have to divide it into 3 different, well, you could do it 2 ways, I guess. So you have this triangle up here at the bottom. So you could do it this way. I would also suggest, like here's another triangle you could do. You could even make, you can't really make another triangle on the right-hand side, but I think what I did was I did the triangle at the bottom, so like this was shape number 1. And then this is technically a trapezoid, even though it's not exactly perfect. So I did 2 shapes. I did a triangle and a trapezoid for this one. Okay. On the back side, though, number 7 through 9, so it says, prove that the shape matches the description, then draw another figure with different measurements in the coordinate plane that matches each description. Okay, so number 7 says a rectangle with an area of 18 square units. Okay, so what you're doing is like, this is shape number 1. So we have to find out to see if the measurements of shape number 1 actually find that area. So if you look at the grid though, they're counting by 2. So the long side on the bottom would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's like my length equals 9. And then my width going up and down would be 1, 2. So, does that work? Yes, because 9 times 2 equals 18. Now they say draw a second shape that makes the same area. You have to think about, well, what else multiplies to make 18? I don't know why I called this A. This should be number 1. I wonder, that looks funny. So number 1, and then my second shape, so I need 2 numbers that multiply to make 18. We use 9 and 2. You could also use 6 and 3. And then they want you to draw it, so you can put it anywhere on the graph. If you start here, you count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up 3, 1, 2, 3. So then here's a second rectangle that would have the same area. Okay, so that's how 8 and 9 work. 10 and 11, you have to figure out what x is. So this is like solving an equation. So the area of a rectangle is length times width. They told us the area was 80 equals, so you can really find the L or the W. It doesn't matter either way. But we can count how long it is going up and down. So if I start up here in the top right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is 10 units. We're trying to figure out what the width is. Again, that could be L or W. Those are pretty interchangeable. So you're solving the equation, and then the same thing with number 11. I would say number 11 is a little trickier because of that dividing by 2 in the formula. Remember, the formula is the height times base 1 plus base 2, and then divided by 2. So you're going to have to undo this division by 2 first on both sides once you've plugged in for everything, and then distribute, and that's pretty much smooth sailing from there. Okay, so hopefully that helps you out in this classwork. If you have any questions, you can always send me an email with a picture of the problem that you're on.